Alright y'all, welcome back to the channel and to some more turkey patterning, and we're out here on a pretty chilly morning. It's like 34 degrees out right now, but it's pretty calm out here. There's still frost on the grass over here behind the camera and everything. But even though it's cold, I still want to test a few things out here. And first up for the morning is some more 410 turkey patterning. And it's one that I don't necessarily think we're going to see any super stellar results from, but it's one that we haven't tested yet, so we have to at least try it and see what happens. But for the shell I've got out here today, I got some of the Remington Premier TSS 410 loads out here again. These are a 410 3-inch 13/16 ounce of number 9 TSS going about 1100 feet per second. And these shells have been kind of middle of the road. They haven't been terrible, they haven't been amazing either, and I think we're probably going to continue that trend today. But as for the setup I've got out here today, I brought back out this little tiny thing. This is my New England Firearms Pardner model SB-1. This is a youth model single shot 410, so it's got a pretty short barrel on it with a really short length of pull, and it is a fixed full choke barrel. So definitely nothing fancy here and not an ideal turkey setup, but I still want to test it just to see what it can actually do with a bunch of different turkey loads. So like usual, as for how we're going to test things, I'm not going to handicap that at all. It's going to be the normal 40-yard pattern. So I have the turkey target set up down there at 40 yards. I also have the chronograph, so we'll see how close we get to that 1100 that's on the box. I don't expect any super amazing performance out of this specific combination here, but we at least got to try it and see what happens, because it might surprise us. But either way, let's get you guys a view of this turkey target, and I'll head up and take the shot, and then we'll glance at what kind of chrono speed we had, and we'll go down and take a look and see how it actually performed. So let's head over here and shoot them and see what this combination might be able to do for us. Alright, so we're back up at the chrono now, and as you can see, that shell only gave us 989. Now the box was claiming 1100, so that's what, 111 feet per second under the box claim, which I don't think is unusual for having that short of a barrel on that youth gun. Now of course 989 is still moving pretty slow for a turkey load, but I wouldn't necessarily call it unexpected for this setup either. But either way, even though it's moving a little bit slow, how did it actually shoot down range? Let's go take a look and see. Alright, so now we're down range here at our 40-yard target, and this is what we got. Now, before anything here, we do have a dead bird. There is one right in the middle of his spine right there. So he is a dead turkey. However, I think the core area of the pattern was a little bit to the right on this one, because the pellets are a little bit more condensed and even just off the right edge of this turkey pattern paper here. But overall here, I think this is about what I expected to see, really. Obviously, it's a fixed full choke barrel with a kind of middle of the road shell here. If we would have had that pattern centered up just a little bit more, it might have looked a little bit better. Can this pattern take a bird out at 40? I would say yes, but it's definitely not the best we've seen through this particular shotgun anyway. But as for the pattern here, I mean, the core-ish, middle-ish area of the pattern there isn't too bad. I mean, it's relatively even until you get just out of that center core area. Then it starts to get a little bit splotchy, especially out towards the edges here, which is not totally unexpected for that setup. I would say, if anything here, this pattern, it's not the worst we've seen through that gun. It's not the best either, but it might be kind of more the splotchiest pattern, especially around those outer edges of the pattern there for sure. So I mean, at the end of the day here, we would have had a dead turkey, but kind of about middle of the road, like I suspected, for this particular setup and its performance anyway. Okay, and here's the wad out of that shell, and as you can see here, it opened up on 2 of the petals pretty far, but this third one over here barely opened at all. But my main concern is that 10 or 11 pellets that are stuck down in the bottom of this wad again. This seems to be a very common issue in 410, but mainly in the Remington and Browning shells specifically. Whatever this wad material, plastic they use, or something of the sort, maybe the buffer material, I don't know, but it's causing these pellets to get stuck down in the bottom of this wad here. And although 10 or 11 pellets may not sound like a lot in the grand scheme of things, in a 410, every pellet can make a difference. But as for the rest of the wad, nothing really too special to see except how it kind of weirdly opened, which could explain maybe why we saw the core area move just a little bit to the right edge of that pattern. But either way, pretty typical looking for one of these Remington wads here, even down to the pellets that are stuck inside. All right, y'all. Well, what did you think about that pattern there? It's pretty much, for me, it's about what I expected. Good enough to take a turkey out at 40, but definitely not the best combination we've seen through this particular shotgun anyway. But inside a 30, like for a youth hunter or something, that would absolutely get the job done. But at the end of the day, once again, that Remington wad didn't really do ideally what I think it was supposed to, which has been a very common theme with those shells. And that 10 pellets may very well make the difference in a pattern like this. It's definitely not an ideal turkey pattern from a 410, but we knew that coming into it just with the setup alone. So as usual, let me know y'all's thoughts and opinions down in the comments. Is this about what you expected? And is there maybe another shell that you guys think I should try through that gun as well? So leave your thoughts in the comments, and we've got several more tests coming out with this as well. I've got another shell or two I want to put through it, so stay tuned for those. We do have an Instagram now as well where you can see some sneak peeks and stuff like that. So if you want to go check that out, I'll leave the link in the description for you. But with that being said, I'm going to jump back to the normal testing for y'all, and I'll see y'all in the next one.